house and the Capitol Guard start yelling at you, screaming at you, you're like, hold up, I'm moving, tell me where to go so I don't get arrested. But yesterday, or Wednesday, it just seemed like, come on in, they like directing traffic. You go that way, yeah, go this way, you go, officers are down there. Look, they were sitting in people's offices with their feet up on the desk, talking smack.
But what is it, JB? Did we just see, like me, that's called white power. Some would say white supremacy, but I'm just gonna call that white power.
I'm gonna call it shit white people can do, shit white people can do, because nobody else can do it. Shit white people can do.
But I mean, like, these folks were sending out tweets and organizing and gathering and saying, meet me here. And what is it? What is it about white folks that white folks don't see about white folks? Maybe that's my question. JB, what is it about white folks that white folks don't see about white folks?
They don't have to see it. They already know it. It's intrinsic. It's part of their DNA. This is shit white people can do. White people don't think that they can't do anything because this is their country. This is their country. I mean, this week began with so much hope. You know, we got 2 Democratic senators coming out of Georgia. One of them a black reverend. I don't know that a pastor has ever been elected to the Senate. I mean, I don't know. I don't know a man of the cloth, man of the plate. So all of a sudden, Reverend Warnock and John Osa. Look, Reverend Warnock, you know he's an alpha man too. I wish Hashem was here. He's an alpha man.
Y'all got an alpha in the Senate.
Whorehouse cowards, you know? And so,
but JB, my question is, I mean, of course, like the powerful moment is that you have a black man and a Jew, a Jewish man and a black man heading into the Senate from all places, Georgia. And that's the story. But you didn't hear any acceptance speeches. You didn't see any celebrations. All you saw when you had black and Jewish history being made is white folks center stage once again. Can white folks even move out of center stage? Like, is it always about them, always and forever? And back to my question, what is it that white folks can't see about white folks? Because they're sitting here waiting for Muslims, they're waiting for the gays, they're waiting for the blacks, they're waiting for the Mexicans, they want to build a wall, they're waiting for the browns, they're waiting for the Native Americans. And the ones that's going to implode the country they're in is the very ones they ain't looking at, and that's themselves.
Yeah. Hey, look, like you said, this was all over the internet. If you hadn't read it, if you had any kind of just a social media platform, and you typed in wildprotest.com, you would have seen what was coming. They talked about it. They said, be there, we'll be wild. And they weren't kidding. They got T-shirts that said Civil War, January 6th, 2021.
Okay, did JB?
So now, how long does it take to print up a T-shirt and get them distributed around the country?
But I'm just telling you, white folks have a blind spot, and that blind spot is white folks. like you. They couldn't see that in the daylight with a flashlight. Like for example, the whites are coming, no need for security at the Capitol. Why? Because we coming. Like, no need, and the security we have is us anyway. So we're straight. These folks are sitting up there banging on a window. I watched some folks huddle around a window, banging at a window, and in these great United States, how disrespectful is it to be running a Confederate flag through the U.S. Capitol, let alone having Confederate flags in the midst of all of these so-called patriots? Now, these patriots are upset that Colin Kaepernick is on his knee decrying the fact that black folks is being murdered by law enforcement, in other words, state executions, and these same patriots are running around with American flags in the midst of Confederate flags. What is it that white folks can't see about white folks? Or is it just blatant hypocrisy? Or is it just white folks being white folks amongst white folks?
Look, the capital was only under attack when the British attacked us in 1814. War of 1812. They came in, they took over the capital, burned it up. The Civil War, terrible in this country. The whole bit, how many people died, all of that. The Confederate flag has never been in the capital.
It was a couple days ago.
I know. And posing with it.
Wow.
See, JB, I told you the war was never lost. I mean, that Civil War was never lost. Those secessionists have never gone away. They have just come back, just like those Spanish came down out of the hills and recaptured Spain from the Moors back in 1842. It was like these folks, these Confederates, these secessionists, those folks have never gone away. But the white folks is so busy looking at black folks and brown folks and red folks and yellow folks that they can't see that it's them that's the problem for them.
And all that stuff you said is they know how to divert. They know how to divert your attention and even white folks' attention away from bad stuff white folks are doing. They got everybody. There's got to be those English. It's got to be the English. They're up to something. Let's get somebody in there. Let's infiltrate. Let's infiltrate that organization. Just about 2 weeks ago, I think it was, the FBI came out with a report that said the number one risk to America is Americans, white, racist, white nationalists, Ku Klux Klan, Boogaloo Boys, Proud Boys.
It's a hell of a change from us being the black man being the number one threat after 1964.
FBI says need to be looked at.
JD, those weren't Boogaloo Boys. Them was Americans. Them folks said they was Americans upset about the outcome of an election, and they're waiting on Mike Pence to do something that he don't even have power to do under their constitution. He's just a ceremonial MC of the day. They're waiting for Mike Pence to take back the government. It doesn't happen. The president of the United States calls them some punks and says, if you're going to be strong, be strong. The next thing you know, here's this crashing of the Capitol. And if in fact Biden and others have called that an insurrection, which I would imagine it's a coup, it's an insurrection, how many of them good white folks is about to get hung or shot or lined up or held accountable? Is the firing squad coming out? Is the noose coming out? Is you have betrayed the country? Or are those folks going to be able to do like their white brethren, come around back, take an oath, say I'm sorry, and tuck in them flags until the next go around?
Stand back and stand by.
14 people
Stand down.
who were in the Capitol, who breached the
Stand back
Capitol.
and stand by.
14 people were arrested. Now they said that the number by nighttime it was 49 or 50 or whatever, but those were arrested for curfew violations at 6 o'clock after the event was even over. Now the white right boys who went in there, you know how the cops have the twist ties, those little zip ties, the plastic things hanging from their belts, so they can handcuff you real quick. The white folks have those zip handcuffs on their belts. They had on full body armor. They had on one guy, you see him coming down the steps, he's got a police written on his bulletproof vest. They had pipe bombs, they had Molotov cocktails, they were ready to go.
But is that an insurrection? Was that an act of war, or was that just like you know, some angry protesters, because if it was black, they were looters, rioters, thugs, etc. But when the whites do it, was that just like an expression of anger, a little, I don't know what they, like, for example, rest in peace to the white woman who got shot, the veteran. Like, when you got veterans running up into federal
Can't even
buildings
do
that
it
have
anymore,
taken an
dude.
oath to defend